Thank you for joining us tonight, and happy Super Bowl Sunday. I'm Chelsea Jones. Well, it all comes down to this after a week-long of festivities in Florida. The biggest game of the season will commence tonight as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, fans flocked to the Hard Rock Stadium early for some pre-gaming. Chants from the Chiefs and predictions from the 49ers echoed through the grounds. Now, this is the first time in a decade the Super Bowl has taken place inside the Hard Rock Stadium. Country music star Darius Rucker took the stage as part of the pregame festivities, and after the game, Migos, Fabulous, and Lil Wayne will also put on some performances in various areas of Miami Beach. And did you know that this will be the first Super Bowl with 5G? Hard Rock Stadium, the Miami airport, and much of the city have been outfitted with the new technology. Fans will need a 5G device to connect to it. Now, Verizon says they'll get download speeds of up to a gigabyte a second. Sports franchises hope the tech encouraged people to buy tickets and otherwise engage with the teams. Well, 4 people are dead after police say an argument turns deadly in apparent murder-suicide in Union Parish. Deputies got the call around 2 Saturday morning of a shooting on Jack Beard Road in Spearsville. Union Parish Sheriff's Dusty Gates is identifying the victims as 40-year-old Casey Colvin, her 18-year-old daughter, Billy Beard, and the daughter's friend, 17-year-old Layla Platt. The shooter, who is not being identified at this time, did turn the gun on himself. He became the 4th victim in the shooting. Now, one of Colvin's other daughters was able to escape through a window to a neighbor's house, and that's where she called police. Officials say the shooter was a 48-year-old Alabama man. The victim has been sent to Little Rock for autopsies, all 4 of them, I should say, and this shooting remains under investigation, and of course, we will update you as we learn more. The U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services has declared the Wuhan coronavirus a public health emergency. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report 8 cases of the coronavirus right here in the United States. But health officials say the coronavirus is common, and the reality is, here in Louisiana, there isn't too much to worry about. Not a beer, but it is an illness, and believe it or not, the coronavirus isn't new.
In fact, about 20% of the common cold is called coronavirus.
The disease, infecting thousands in China, killing hundreds, has now made its way to the United States.
A new coronavirus, a different one, that they think might possibly have come from either bats or cats in China.
But the good news, if you haven't been to Wuhan, China in the last month, you're probably okay.
The average person in Louisiana is at very little to almost no risk of getting this.
We don't really know if they'll come to this small town.
And the reality is we don't. But Medical Director Frank Welch says Louisiana health officials have already sent out alerts to every medical professional in the state. Each is well equipped with how to handle any person who shows symptoms like fever, cough, and shortness of breath, and of course, most importantly, have traveled to Wuhan recently. And these symptoms may sound similar to another common illness.
This year alone, hundreds of thousands of people have gotten the flu, and we have several thousand deaths just in the United States. Well, they both sound alike and spread alike.
So the same preventions apply. Wash your hands, cover your cough, and stay away from people if you're sick. You may have heard to wear a mask, but here in Louisiana, that's not necessary.
If you are well and you're wearing a mask, typically it doesn't protect you from getting ill.
Locals say they're not worried.
I feel safe. I think with every outbreak, there's always a lot of fear, a lot of terror, but I think that we're in safe hands.
The TSA is sending out a new security directive to airlines in the United States amid the rapid spread of the coronavirus. The new guidelines will reportedly go into effect today. The airlines will be required to ask all passengers booked on flights from outside of the U.S. if they've been to mainland China in the last 14 days. Chinese nationals coming from China and connecting through foreign airports will not be allowed to travel. U.S. citizens who have been to China in the last 2 weeks will have to be rebooked to 7 gateway airports to include JFK, LAX, Seattle, SFO, Chicago, Atlanta, and Honolulu. The new guidelines come just a day after the White House announced there will be a new travel restrictions starting today. Well, it is crawfish season once again here in Louisiana, and well, there's a lot of the beloved love bugs out there. So if you've been waiting since last spring for a crawfish boil, you might be surprised by the prices we are already seeing. Here's why.
While crawfish usually isn't on the menu for a lot of people until springtime, farmers and wholesalers like Scott Broussard are already gearing up for the start of the season.
Farming crawfish is a lot more complex than most people think.
The complexity comes in with the water temperature and the depth. If you don't get both of these elements just right, you might be out of a sale come crawfish season. And that was the harsh reality for some people in the industry last year when the Atchafalaya flooded. Now, farmers and wholesalers are paying for last season's shortcomings with smaller crop and ultimately smaller income.
I think you're going to get the poundage, but the quality won't be as good, meaning size. They're going to be more smaller crawfish than bigger crawfish.
A lot of crawfish died last year during the flood, so the ones we're seeing now are a lot younger and a little smaller. This means the price for these guys might run anywhere between $3 to $4 per pound versus the $4 to $5 you might normally see for bigger crawfish.
Overall, the size has not been, and I'm not saying that you're going to not have any good crawfish. There's going to be good crawfish out there, but the size overall is going to be, we'll see more smaller stuff than we did last year.
Crawfish season is fickle. Broussard says it could change any time depending on Mother Nature and demand for the crop. So we won't really know the exact pricing until we hit the season's peak in the springtime.
We might have Punxsutawney Phil to thank for the better than normal crawfish season because he did not see his shadow today, and that means we can expect an early spring. Thousands of people showed up in Gobbler's Knob, Pennsylvania for Groundhog Day today, and traditionally if the groundhog does not see his shadow, there will be 6 more weeks of winter. Well, that's not the case, and this is the 134th Groundhog Day and only the 20th time in history that Punxsutawney Phil has not seen his shadow. Tickets for the St. Jude Dream Home are now on sale for just $100. You have the chance to win a brand new $410,000 home, and it is beautiful. It's being built by Braco Construction. It'll be in the Egret Landing subdivision in Sterlington. A lot of features in this beautiful home. You have to check it out. But go ahead and buy your ticket. Head to our website, myarklamiss.com, or you can call the number you see on your screen, 800-726-9874. Well, coming up on NBC 10 News at 5, it is Black History Month, and we're taking a look at some of the hidden history right here in our state, starting with New Orleans, and the important role it played during the Civil Rights era with school desegregation. That's after the break. But right now, Brian is tracking some beautiful spring-like weather on this Super Bowl Sunday. Brian?
Yeah, it's been downright warm, and I actually started sweating today. I imagine a lot of us did, but our next system will be ending that very nice weather as we head into next week. Includes severe chances and much cooler temperatures. We'll have all those details coming up a little bit later on. You're watching NBC 10 News at 5.
Attention Dish Network subscribers. Don't sit still. Don't get locked out. You could soon lose a full range of our programming you pay for. This means losing critical weather and breaking news coverage from NBC 10. Your favorite NBC programs, America's Got Talent, This Is Us, Chicago Wednesday, and the Summer Games. Don't get locked out of the programming you pay for. Take action now. Call 800-333-3474 and tell Dish Network to keep KTVE NBC 10.
Start your day the right way with Anna McAllister, Felicia Michelle, and meteorologist Lexi Birmingham. Get up to date on local news and plan your day with Lexi's forecast. Weekday mornings from 5 to 7 on NBC 10 News Today.
Students, your career search begins at the ULM Spring Career Fair, where you'll meet one-on-one with top recruiters in their field. The ULM Spring Career Fair, Wednesday, February 12th from 10 till 2 at the Bayou Point Events Center, hosted by the ULM Career Center.
So with Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It holds up to 2,000 hours. It holds all your favorite shows.
Fold in the raspberry cream mixture. Give it a jolly good turn.
Oh, this is the one where she makes the decorative fondant out of meringue.
What it does not hold?
Perfect.
Really, Clint?
It holds no judgment.
Love fondant.
Whatever your passion, record up to 2,000 hours of it with Dish. Tuned in to you.
CashNetUSA.com, man. I help when money's tight.
If approved, you may get the money you need as soon as the same business day. Get the cash you need fast. Apply online today. Go to CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
I hate this bed.
Time for a breakthrough from Cons Home Plus. Just need to use the Cons Low Payment Finder. Good credit or building credit will find the lowest payment tailored to you.
For something old or something new, Cottonport Antique Mall.
NBC 10 News at 5 continues.
If you didn't know, New Orleans has quite the history, and as we kick off Black History Month, Christopher Leach examines school desegregation and its role in the Big Easy.
New Orleans was the foundation of the national case Plessy versus Ferguson, held in 1896, setting the stage that racial segregation was legal as long as things were separate but equal. In 1954, Brown versus Board of Education would officially begin to undo over a half a century of segregation, and the effects traveled down back to New Orleans.
I just prayed and also say if I ever got married and had children, I wanted it better for my kids. The first 2 days I went with her, people were just everywhere hollering and screaming. And when we walked up to the school, they had 2 policemen standing there. They said, "You cannot come in." The New Orleans Marshal said, "The president said we can." And when they said that, they just walked up, they just stepped back, and we went on into school.
Ruby Bridges was among 6 girls who passed a test to transfer to all-white schools, caught in the middle of anger and aggression.
They told me one of the city policemen, they had to arrest him because he had pulled his gun.
Across town, Leona Tate was part of the McDonough Three, 3 girls about to jump into the charged atmosphere of McDonough 19.
When I woke up, I remember my house being filled with people. You would have thought it was Christmas morning. Everybody was doing something. And I remember a black car pulling up in front of the house. And it was the U.S. Marshals coming to pick us up. But I didn't realize who they were. And the house got real quiet. We were the only 3 students in the building for a year and a half.
Children were on the front lines, and students all over the country had become the visible expression of testing new freedom.
I visit a lot of schools, and our children today don't know the history that happened right in their city. New Orleans has a lot of history, a lot of culture that we're losing if we don't continue, telling the story and teaching our children.
Super thankful for their sacrifice. But after the break, Brian's going to let you know if you can expect this beautiful weather to stick around. But as we head to break, take a look outside. Such a beautiful day. NBC 10 News at 5 continues after the break.